All right, Shalom. First off, I want to start off by saying all praises, honor, and glory is due unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Kakadash. That's all praises to who the world calls God, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh, by Hashem being in the name, Yahushai being the name of the only begotten Son. Also want to say double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and mercy to the Ophel Light preaching his word in truth and sincerity. I'm the brother Tazabon of Great Millstone, Arizona camp. Lord will with another video to edify. And I wanted to touch on a little bit of history going to this persecution, right? Because we're getting ready to go through that straight gate, and it's very important for you to understand the times you're in and what you're dealing with, right? Right? Because men try to sit here and act like that time of Jacob's trouble, right? Right? The hour of temptation isn't going to come through what we understand being the MOTB. Well, truth be mattered, man, it's going to come. And that MOTB, the mark of the beast, which is that RFID microchip that they want to put in everybody to be able to buy and sell, for them to be able to track everything and to quantify and qualify everybody's existence. Right? They're going to find a way to sit here and persecute us about that. It's only natural, right? But this term social engineering, I was meditating on this for some time, and Esau has studied, right, through these movements, because the new world order system is nothing different than the systems in which were brought forth in socialism or right, communism. I mean, right. Communism is nothing more than the system of the New World Order. It just in those times it was extremely failed, because they were getting all the flaws out, they were knocking everything down, right? All those things came in order. So when you go into this term, social engineering, it says in the context of information security, social engineering is a psychological manipulation of people into performing actions or divulging confidential information, right? Now, I did a little digging to find whenever social engineering started, there's an article in this place, MIT Nix Security, Mitnick Security. It says, the history of social engineering, how to stay safe today. Now, screw that how to stay safe, right? I'm jumping down in this. Goes into what social engineering does, right? And I'm going to go right here. It says the art of deception. Instead of employing brute force to attack cybersecurity, they're talking about cybersecurity, but this goes into, we're really touching in how Esau uses the social engineering to influence the people to do action, how he's going to use this to actually influence people to come against the prophets, right? To set up an accusation, because that's what Esau set up to do. He's set up to do an accusation. We're going to get this scripture, right? Right? It says, instead of employing brute force to attack cybersecurity barriers, social engineers master the art of deception. These cunning engineers use the principles of human psychology to build trust with a user, often someone directly associated with the targeted organization, knowing that the person may be therein, right? And that's how Esau is going to use these times and the words that we've said to sit here and set up an accusation against the prophets. This is Revelation 12 and 10. It says, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now has come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our power, right? It's the elect, right? Are going to be saying this. It says, in the power of his anointed, for the accuser of our brethren. Who is the accuser? Right? Esau Edom. He's the one trying to make an accusation. He's the one trying to point a finger. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down before our power day and night. Which accused them before our power day and night. right? And this devil's gonna come up with an accusation. I'm gonna keep reading. It says, I'm gonna jump down actually. Verse 13. It says, I'll go to 12. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. And when the dragon saw that he was cast out unto earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man child. So this is gonna be nothing new, right? When these devils see their kingdom slipping, they're gonna fully persecute us. Now, when you go into some history, and I like hearing things like this, right? When you go into some history, right here, this is during the time of the 1930 to 1931 terror famine. I think it went to 1933 actually. Terror famine in Russia, right? They actually sat there and turned the people against basically peasants that were doing a little better than everybody else, just slightly better, right? That had a little bit of land, knew the farming secrets, right? And that's actually how the terror famine happened, right? They basically persecuted the ones that knew how to do the farming, that was doing okay, a little better than okay, right? They persecuted basically regular ass niggas that was doing a little better than okay, to sit here and forward whatever plans they had. Now, peep this: the kulaks, right? The history of the kulaks is this. It says, it was a term used to describe peasants who owned over 8 acres, right? It says of land towards the end of the Russian Empire. The early Soviet Union, particularly in Soviet Russia, Azerbaijan, kulak became a vague reference to property owners among peasants who considered hesitant allies of the Bolshevik Revolution, right? A hesitant ally. Are we hesitant of what Esau does? Right? So they made up a term, put up posters, right? And basically persecuted these people to the point where what? It says kulak originally referred to former peasants in the Russian Empire who became wealthier during the Stolypin reform of 1906 to 1914, which aimed to reduce radicalism amongst the peasantry. Basically, they saw there was a large swath of poor people that they needed to get on their side, right? And produce profit-minded political conservative farmers. During the Russian Revolution, kulak was used to chastise peasants who withheld grain from the Bolsheviks. According to the Marxist Leninist political theories of the 20th century, the kulaks were considered class enemies of the poor peasants. Right? They basically used and social engineered an entire new way of thinking about somebody that these people had nothing really against. Right? These people were paid. They live in those small communities. They're great on farming. So what happened when they turned the narrative? Those so-called kulaks, those little bit of landowners, the people came and killed them without any need for the government to step in. The people just came and killed them. And what happened after that? Niggas started starving because these are the ones who had all the understanding of how to farm, right? So they killed the breadbasket. They turned it simple. They turned it even more simple against them. This is just one instance of it. Right? And the scriptures telling you in Ecclesiastes, that which has been is that which shall be. Right? And these are all things that happen at the turn, right? At the turn of a new way of doing things. Right? And we're coming at the turn of a new way of doing things. And what is that turn? Right? They're going to do away with fiat money. They want to build back better. And they want you to own nothing and be happy. And who the only ones that are coming out with valid information on these things? It's the prophets. Because what? We tie these things into the scriptures. right? So another time that this happened at the turn of a new way was in the time of the Great Leap Forward. And if you go into the history on the Great Leap Forward, lots of niggas died, right? Lots of niggas died. And the same thing happened during the Great Leap Forward. I think it says it. Just reading this a little bit earlier. Right? So during the Great Leap Forward, let's just get into this. It says, I want to make sure I can grab it from where I had. All right, here it is. It's down here, so I'm gonna read up and I'll jump down. It says the Great Leap Forward, second 5-year plan of the People's Republic of China was an economic and social campaign led by Chinese Communist Party, CCP, from 1958 to 1962. Right? CCP chairman Mao Zedong, demon, this nigga's a fucking demon, launched the campaign to reconstruct the country from a Aragon or Adrain economy, Adrain economy, into a communist society through the formation of people's communes. Now I'm gonna jump down, right? Turn of a century. They want to turn what it was to something new. Now peep this. It says the major changes which occurred in the lives of the rural Chinese people included the incremental introduction of mandatory agricultural collectivization, right? Basically, instead of you having your own little piece of shit, right? Now your own stuff is part of everybody's stuff, right? It says private farming was prohibited, and those who engaged in it were persecuted and labeled counter-revolutionaries. Restrictions on rural people were enforced with public struggle sessions and social pressures, and forced labor was also exacted from people. Rural industrialization, while officially a priority of the campaign, saw its development aborted by the mistakes of the Great Leap Forward. You see, they were easily able to use social engineering to label these people bad for everybody else, so they naturally just turned on them because these people were struggling already, right? So they wanted somebody to blame it on. They needed it, and they waited for the struggle. And Esau and the heathen are going to point an accusation, and they're going to put that on us, right? They're going to put everything on the Israelites, just like they always have, right? This is nothing new, right? They're going to try to persecute the elect, right? This is John 15 and 20. No, that was a lot of information. It's some good stuff to look on if you want to look up some articles. It's good information to go on, man. That Great Leap Forward, man. The documentaries you can watch on that, man, they go into how bad them famines are, bro. John 15 and 20 says, remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my sayings, they will keep yours also. Right? So there's going to be a time where they're going to use everything that we said through the Spirit to actually persecute us. Like these people's predicament, these people's situation isn't something that they brought upon themselves. Right? Right? The way and the wickedness of these people is what's going to bring it on them. The scriptures tell you, lewdness is the mother of famine, and what's more lewd than the way of life that is currently on this earth? Right? But if they persecuted the Lord, they're going to persecute us. And there's nothing wrong with that. Great, you can persecute us. But at the end of the day, we did what the Lord commanded, and y'all still gonna fucking die. That's just the truth of the matter, man. Your kids are gonna go hungry because of what? Your actions. It's Acts 8 and 1. says Saul was consenting unto his death, and at that time there was a great persecution against the church, which was at Jerusalem. There's that which was is that which shall be. There was a great persecution on the believers back then. There's going to be a great persecution in these times, right? Esau is going to plan. He's going to engineer. They're already doing it with the people that didn't want to get the juicy juice and the people that did get it, right? How is it that they were so successful at quelling thousands of videos that would go up of people saying, "Oh, this stuff is, I didn't have any of these issues," while they're doing the Harlem Shake, can barely get the word out, right? Every step is a twerk competition involuntarily because the fucking jitters that they would get from taking that stuff. How well did they sit here and quell all those videos? But somehow now a doctor is able to go on BBC or I think it was BBC. They tell them these people are dying from the juicy juice. Right? These things, it's weird for those things to slip through like that on a major network when they've done so well to sit here and snuff out thousands of millions of videos of people saying, "Hey, my life changed since I took this shit." Right? Because what they're setting up an accusation. They might go against the ones that they don't want to get the juice, the anti-juicers. They might go against the anti-juicers first. And then when they see that, okay, anti-juicers wasn't enough, now they're going to sit here and start targeting the subgroups. And they're going to come at what? The prophets, the Israelites. This is just, it's simple math, man. This is simple math, bro. I'll tell you this for free. Esau is 100% an opportunist, and he does not let things go out there that he doesn't want to without a plan. Right? This devil has war in his heart, as the scriptures tell you, man. But he's going to set up that persecution. He's going to, that insurrection against the believers, that's coming, man. It's Matthew 5 and 10. It says, "Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." And it's fine to be persecuted for righteousness' sake, though. Right? Because what the Lord said, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. It's a righteous thing to warn people about this devil. It's a righteous thing to warn people about what this devil has planned. The ramifications of these things. Right? To understand exactly how this devil works. Right? And we're in the time now where it's going to be a blessing that you do everything that was good, even though these devils are going to be pointing at you, man. It's going to be a blessing because the Lord is going to be like, "Oh, shit, that's my man's right there. He stood stiffly for the name of the Lord." That's part of the blessing, man. 2 Corinthians 4. 2 Corinthians 4 and 9, it says, I started 8. It says, "We are troubled on every side, yet not in distress. Yet not distressed, Salakia. We are perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not forsaken. Cast down, but not destroyed." See? Though we're going to be in a situation where anybody else would just freak the hell out, right? The Lord's going to make sure we're going to be persecuted, right? But not forsaken. Yeah, they're casting us down, but look, the Lord is still with us. We're going to be making out of everything, man. I had a dream a while back where I was arrested by like these military men, and they gave me they told me why I was getting taken in. I was like, "For what? Telling the truth?" And they took me in, locked me up, and something happened in the prison where I was able to just walk out of the front door of the prison. I got out of there, went to go see my woman, and it's like they came and got me again, and I was like, "Fuck it, let's go." The Lord got me out once, get me out again, right? We might be persecuted, but the Lord is still going to be with us, bro. No matter what, I believe in that 100%. Right? 2 Corinthians 12 and 10. I started 9. It says, "And he said unto me, My grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness." Right? Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of a Mashiach may rest upon me. Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, in necessities, right? In persecutions. Take glory in the persecution. That you're kind of worthy for that, man. That the Lord say, "Hey, man, you know what? I'm giving this man enough spirit to deal with this. And pretty soon I'm going to give that man power to rebuke it, man." It says, "In persecutions and distresses for Mashiach's sake, for when I am weak, then I am strong." Right? So in those moments where the Lord's putting us in that weak position in persecution, expect the Lord to make a deliverance, to show us that he's with us and to be made strong. It could be spiritual power, it could be an angel coming to you. You might be able to step out of a portal. But all those things are possibility just when that persecution comes. But, Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson. Let's say, call Allah Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Karkadash, the honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and mercy to the hopeful elect. Shalom.